All right, welcome to Twin Terror. I'm David.
And I'm Gary.
And welcome back to Twin Terror. I'm David.
And I'm still Gary.
And welcome in the future. Anyways, I just did a video for my channel, and I'll do a high-level summary here. It took me 10 minutes to do my intro on the last one, so I will try and sum up. Smart legislation, SMART, is the action arm of Smart Elections and is a lead plaintiff in a case in Rockland County, New York, where they state there's clear evidence that the Senate results, the U.S. Senate results, are incorrect and statistical indications that the presidential results are highly unlikely. In the discovery, using data and statistics and sworn affidavits, they showed in sworn affidavits that 9 people said they voted early election or on election day for this one independent U.S. Senate candidate who only received a total of 5 votes. Yet 9 people swore that they voted for this person. So how do you get that to line up? And those 9 people was only 3% of the population polled. So we have a problem. Same problem. 80% of the people in that county, let's say there was 1,000 people in one of the districts, and there was 500 people in another district, but in the district where 1,000 people voted, both counties, 80% voted for the Democratic candidate, and 20% voted for the Republican candidate. And apparently 0% voted for the independent that there are people who have subpoenas saying they voted for. So we have a problem. Yeah. Worst problem is when you go to the presidential race. Of the county where 1,000 people voted and 800 voted for the Democratic candidate, a total of 2 votes for Kamala Harris and 996 votes for Donald Trump.
I don't see a problem with that.
In the county where like 550 people voted, no votes for Kamala Harris and 548 votes for Trump and a couple write-ins. So literally, you're looking at 1,500 people voting and a total of 2 voted for Kamala Harris in counties or districts where 80% of the people voted for the Democratic senator. That is statistically very difficult to explain.
Yes.
So with the Senate, when they have people that have sworn affidavits saying they voted and the numbers don't line up, that's why they say we need to recount the Senate. And then when they say it's statistically improbable that the presidential results are accurate, that's the 1,500 people total and only 2 voted for Harris. The judge agreed with the plaintiffs, saying, yeah, this looks screwy. So she ordered discovery to proceed, and they want to have a full hand recount of the ballots, the paper ballots, and then try and align it with the results and compare. And if they find shenanigans, and it sure looks like they will, because I don't even begin to know how you explain these results. Yeah. I was telling Gary, you couldn't get 500 people in a room and agree that the Earth is a sphere. And Gary says it's round, and that's right there. You know, right there you'd have 300 people saying it's round, 300 people saying it's a sphere, and then a bunch of idiots saying it's flat. Right. It's really a disc on the back of 4 turtles.
Yes. And if you go off one end, you come in the other end like Pac-Man.
Exactly. Once you get past the ice wall.
Yeah. So anyways. That's David's reading on the Terror by the Bay channel. So if you haven't watched it, watch that.
Go check it out. It pisses me off, but also gives me hope because it's like the cards, the way they were coming out. I think this is the start. You're looking for the thing that breaks the ice, the spark that starts the flame, that starts the wildfire. I think it starts here. Yeah. They've got a judge saying, look into this. And once one county finds there's problems, and they're going to find problems there. Again, I don't know how you have 1,500 people vote and only 2 voted for Harris in a district where statistically 1,200 people should have voted for her.
Right.
That's a problem.
Yeah, and frankly, they were seeing that in a number of elections where
North Carolina.
Yeah.
Clark County, I think it was Clark County in Nevada. They saw the same thing. You know, Oh, yeah, that was the other part of the presidential statistics where Trump was overperforming the down ballot candidates, which is normal, but Kamala Harris was way underperforming against the down ballot candidates. And they showed the 2020 with Biden. So, like, the deviation for Trump and the thing and the Republican candidates was similar to the deviation that Biden had with the Republican candidates. They're explaining that's statistically normal. But the deviation for Kamala Harris underperforming by, instead of getting a couple percent higher was like 13% lower or 13 points lower. It's statistically significant in sketchiness.
Yeah. And there was, when we did our last reading on this, when I forget what the reading was, there were a lot of people in the comments talking about the Election Truth Alliance, which is, I believe, one of those independent agencies that's looking at the voter fraud. And they've been out on YouTube kind of making their case. I suspect that they were the ones that were kind of looking at the one in Las Vegas.
I think you're right.
And so I admittedly, I've not looked at any of that. It's frankly just been kind of busy. But it seems like this may be gaining traction. And this, I was kind of focused in on Pennsylvania, like North Carolina, some of those swing states where Trump knew he had to take Pennsylvania, otherwise he really didn't have a path to victory. So that would seem like Ohio as well. That would seem like a place that would be rife with opportunity to challenge the election results and do some hand counting of ballots. And the Democrats, Kamala Harris and the Democrats, just wouldn't pony up the money to get it done. And that's what we were all feeling the frustration about.
Right, because it's one of those things you could see it. You can see it's like, this doesn't pass this. This is unbelievable. This cannot be happening. This is not what we saw. When Trump was saying, don't believe what your lying eyes see, and don't believe what your lying ears hear. Just listen to what I tell you. It was like that. Yeah. We know they're lying to us. We just had no evidence to take to a court to say it's happening. But I think it's happening now. Why? Maybe one day somebody will explain it to us.
Yes. So let's take a look at. I wanted to take a look at the energy and just like I said, Dave did a similar reading on his, just to see, is this going to start gaining traction, and are we going to see more actions taken on reviewing the 2024 presidential election and the integrity of such election? There we go. It's all me. All right, 8 minutes in. Let's finally throw some cards. So let's look at the energy around this. Is this kind of the beginning of a movement to seriously look at the election results? Whoops, upside down. Okay, foundation of the reading is temperance. It's about balance. It's about being calm and collected and looking at things objectively. The challenge is the Six of Swords. People just wanting to move on. This election's over. It's 8 months ago. We just need to move this thing on. This could also, conversely, be people who really want to get to the other side of this and make sure that everything is on the up and up, because people are being disenfranchised by the results of this election. Underneath it, you got the Ace of Pentacles. It's a new idea. Something of value is now being presented. This could be is it Smart Vision, David? Is that what the company was called?
I'm sorry. I was somebody was knocking at the door. What was your question?
What was the name of the company that in New York that was doing the
Smart Legal?
Smart Legal. I mean, that could be what this Ace of Pentacles is. Smart Legal coming up with something new, some new evidence, some new information that needs to be investigated. In the past, you got the Four of Wands. This is it's celebrating the victory, avoiding prison, and celebrating the victory for Trump. The current energy is the Three of Pentacles. This could be interpreted a couple ways. This could be these independent agencies or independent groups that are reviewing the election results, comparing notes, and sharing their findings. This could also be elected officials discussing that maybe the jig is up.
Yeah, the term backroom deals was coming to mind.
Yeah, exactly. Overarching energy is the King of Cups. So you got the King of Cups over the Temperance card. So it's about being balanced emotionally, keeping your emotions in check, being the master of your emotions. Let's not get our run around panic like our hair's on fire.
Exactly. Let the facts come out and judge the case based on the facts.
Exactly. The lesson to be learned is the Nine of Pentacles. As Dave was mentioning, this democracy is completely based on free and fair elections.
Yep.
And the minute you take away the freedom and the fairness of the elections, you have basically gotten undermined and destroyed the democracy. And this needs to happen to ensure that everyone is trusting the voting process, that the election integrity exists. Outcome, the Empress. Well, now that could certainly be taken a couple of ways. The first thing is just, this is all the good things in the United States hinge on free and fair elections. This could also be interpreted that there may have been outside help from Russia. that could be, Vladimir Putin knows how to rig an election.
He does.
And he was definitely rooting for Trump because Trump was going to give him everything he wanted. So it could be taken either way. This is about the abundance and the wealth and all the good things in the United States, but it's also could be Mother Russia.
With that Ace of Pentacles, again, I didn't, for the folks watching at home, I really didn't hear most of what Gary was saying, because as he started, somebody rang the doorbell, which was my neighbor, letting me know that whatever packages Michelle ordered around the front door, and I guess she didn't want anybody to come run off with them. Now, the neighborhood we live in, nobody's going to come and run off with them.
The Ace of
bless her, she's very concerned.
The Ace of Pentacles, I was saying, is smart vision, coming up with new information.
Smart vision. It's actually smart legislation, but smart vision works too. Now, what I also think is with Citizens United, there's a lot of money in elections, and the Nine of Coins is the tech bros trying to buy elections. What you're going to find, there's a common theme in here, is that money and wealth is driving and undermining what's going on here. Okay. Where to follow up with this?
How about you guys sort of take a peek as to what this, how successful this is going to be as far as getting results? And
yeah, it's here's the question: like, how quickly does it spread? How quickly does it spread? Do people believe it? Are we going to see the same thing in Clark County? What will happen when this is released? Will the Republicans ever believe this? Will people believe this? Will these are all, when you see me going, because these are all the questions going to mind. I'm trying to find the right one.
Right. Okay, so I got my deck all nice and stacked. How's yours?
Exactly. No, I just screwed up my nervous overhand shuffling. Gary was suggesting just like, is this successful? And I think that's a reasonable one. I do want to go to Elon at some point, because remember, Elon knows those voting machines and computers better than anybody else.
And remember what Little X said: "You're not the real president."
Exactly. So, do they strike gold here? Nine of coins, just like Gary's lesson to be learned. I think there's a wealth of information in here. People are extremely passionate, probably even angry.
Yeah, you think? Outraged.
And then there's fighting. Then there's, I think, they find a trove of data. Now, when I had the coins in my reading, the coins were representing like votes and stuff like that. I think they find a treasure trove of information.
Oh my God. Just sorry to interrupt, but I had the lesson to be learned, and now you got that as the underneath card. Do you remember who our Nine of Pentacles was when we were doing the run up to the election? Presidential candidate, maybe.
Was it Kamala Harris?
That was our Kamala Harris card.
Because we had that in the Three of Cups. I guess Nine of Coins was Kamala Harris, and the Three of Cups was her victory.
Democrats celebrating.
Okay, but let's roll with that. Okay, Nine of Coins, Kamala Harris, and the passion that was behind her. It's that thank you, Gary. That makes this really easy. This is the passion that she had for the job, the passion we had supporting her. And what was this card, Gary? When we fight,
yeah, we fight.
We win.
We win. Fight. Oh my God!
In the past, the Four of Wands, the election that she should have won. The secrets that were being kept. I'm wondering if this, again, we speculated that Harris and Biden knew what was happening, which is why in December, when the report on election interference came in mid to late December, like a week before Christmas, and Biden was supposed to be, Harris was supposed to fly to California, right. And I think Biden had gone up on the East Coast and turned around and came back from Vermont to where he was going. And then they never left during the holidays. I think this is what they've been sitting on. I don't know why we had to wait until some private company did this, but maybe that's to try and make it seem like the Democrats weren't doing it. You have to have some independent group do it.
The hell they wait so goddamn long for?
Legal cases take forever.
Yeah. Delays.
But I think this is what she and Joe Biden knew what was happening. I think that's what we've got going on here. Overarching energy is the corruption, the stolen election, and the corruption of Donald Trump, Elon Musk, and others who took it from us. And overarching energy is the government. And maybe in some ways they felt the government was so large that there couldn't be that much damage that Trump could do. I don't think they understand how big the beer was. Now, to be fair, Trump's not doing too much damage to the government. Now, I realize that seems like a really stupid thing to say, but Elon Musk came in there and he cost thousands of people their jobs. Yep. Trump's messing with the stock market and the economy by threatening tariffs. But, these are just like it's like getting poked in the side with a sharp stick. Yeah. It's not going for the heart. It's not going to hemorrhage the country. And I guess they thought maybe the country would be resilient enough to go with it. But the problem is it's like a cancer. Mm-hmm. Once it starts, how do you stop it? That's where I take offense to my analysis there. Like, the Constitution of the country will survive it. Yeah. Cancer starts off small and spreads. Maybe this wildfire also spreads. But the indication is, there's corruption there, and it's throughout the government. It's probably throughout all the elections in Congress and in the presidential race. And now the slow progression. By the way, 1, 2, 3, 4 major arcana in a row. This is almost like what they planned on happening. I believe there was a lip reader that there was some event where Trump was there, and Kamala Harris' mouth's like, he'll get what he deserves or something along those lines. Mm-hmm. I'm wondering if we're finally starting to see that. I really hope so. Because I'm going to be, after the election and wish casting, getting my hopes up, I'm trying to be very tempered in getting my hopes up for this. But this is at least in the legal forums. This
Yeah.
is not speculation. This is not, oh, I know there's something wrong. Maybe somebody, but they're actually doing something about it. But underneath it, this looks like what Biden and Harris knew what was going on, and it's playing out now.
Okay. Will the public believe it? Ultimately, is they're gonna have to bring some pretty compelling receipts because this is unprecedented. And will it be legitimate and will it be believed? Okay, Page of Pentacles. We're bringing new information forth. It's a whole new look at things. I guess, let's see, I gotta come down here. My title keeps getting longer. The Cross, the Ten of Cups, the big happy family. So, so once again, is it going to be believed? They're going to be bringing new information. It's kind of a new beginning, and it's going to be impacting it's my name is now very ironic, seeking truth, justice in the American way. I mean, that's the truth, justice, and American way card right there.
Yep. It's accepting the result. It's what's best in America, and that's the elections.
Right.
Good or bad, you take the elections. You don't always get what you want, but it was always people voting for what was best for the country. But that doesn't seem to be the case.
So are they going to believe it? Underneath the energy, underneath it is the betrayal.
Yeah.
The betrayal of
the value of our votes, the sanctity of our elections has been
exactly.
betrayed.
In the past, you got the Queen of Wands, lots of actions being taken. This is kind of like the super multitasking card.
I also wonder if that's the judge in the New York case. It was a female judge that ordered that, and I've been contemplating she's a Queen of Wands type.
Could energy. Be. It could be totally. It totally could be. It could also be like you were mentioning that once this thing gets traction, you're going to start seeing actions taken in elections all around the United States. Right. Certainly in the swing states. The current energy is the Knight of Wands. More actions being taken, stuff being moved forward. So are they going to believe it? Eight of Pentacles. There's a lot of work, a lot of analysis that was done, a lot of things that were happening behind the scenes and over this whole thing. That it's the third. This is the being thorough. This is having all your I's dotted and all your T's crossed.
That's like your recount too. Mm-hmm. Checking each one. Does that match? Does that paper ballot match what the machine said?
The lesson to be learned is the Two of Swords. We're at a crossroads here. Part of me thinks that the reason why the Democrats weren't foaming at the mouth and beating the drum is they didn't want to look like Trump and the Republicans after 2020. But now if they're bringing receipts, the public has a choice. They have a choice to make here. They're at a crossroads. Do you believe the facts and the evidence, or do you believe what you want to believe? Outcome. Four of Cups, which is not happy with how things turned out in the three, the House, the Senate, and the executive branch. So now there's an option coming forth that will be presented.
I think you'll be lucky if you get 25% of the Republican voters believing the evidence, and 75% won't, but 25% may just be enough that you need.
Yeah, let's see. So there's a heartbreak. So we've got, the corruption. Just checking out emotionally from this. They might have had some help from overseas that were keeping the mystery, but the best of the United States. This has always been the democracy card. The democracy needs to be upheld, and you can't reward false victories. And there's a truth coming out. It had to do with red hat, appeasing the red hats, and progress is being made forward. And you're reaping what you're sowing, and you're going to wrap it up with temperance, trying to find that balance again. Mm-hmm. as much as I'm not a conspiracy theorist and like to, maybe I'm just too optimistic. Blind Squirrel will definitely comment on these, and the integrity of the elections and all that. Boy, this really, really smells bad. If this was a glass of milk and I smelt it, I would not touch that with a 10-foot straw.
It's the chunky milk from the back of the refrigerator.
Oh my God.
They're trying to tell you that it's farm fresh.
Oh man, let me tell you something. You know, growing up in our household in the 70s, there was a lot of milk being consumed. And once or twice, man, if you've ever drank sour milk, it's a taste that you will never, ever, ever forget.
What was the Burt Reynolds movie where he was trying to commit suicide?
Oh, The End.
What's that?
The End.
The End. Mouthful of pills and chugs some milk, and then on a glass table.
Yeah, this may be a big glass of sour milk that we have been avoiding drinking, but now it's being exposed.
We can only hope. Thank you everyone for watching this video and supporting our channel. We do appreciate it.
Yeah, if you like these videos, give us a thumbs up, subscribe. We put out a new video every night at midnight, and leave a comment. I read them all, respond to many.
And unlike those bargain basement, next leading brand Twin Tarot channels that leave halfway through a broadcast,
I had to grab my phone. Yeah, so what happened was my wife took the charger off the wall and ran off with it, not realizing that this is a USB-C charger and her car only has USB-A, you know, or rather her phone's USB-A. So she wanted to listen to her phone and charge it in her car. And she basically took the charger away from me. So my phone's been like near death all day. So it was,
it's the damnedest thing. They only made one charger in all of the entire county you live in. There's only one. Heaven forbid they ever come up with a second one, because you might actually use it.
Yeah, no kidding. And so the reason why I wanted to grab my phone is because I take screenshots of interesting comments, people who make donations to the channel. So I'd like to give a shout out to Tennessee Chin, who made a very thoughtful contribution to the channel.
Tennessee Chin.
Tennessee Chin.
Let's see. What do we got there? Thank you very much. Thank you very much.
And I'd like to give a shout out to Canuck Buck, who has been out of the comments for a while, but is now back in.
Welcome back in. Have a beer.
And then,
have a Molson Canadian for us.
And then one final shout out and a warm wishes to Philip Ehrman and his partner Richard. Philip was going through some radiation treatments. His recovery is not going quite as well as he had hoped. So just thoughts and prayers and well wishes to you, Philip. I hope you're doing good, my friend. And for the rest of us, a secret card. And our secret card is the Two of Wands.
Stay tuned.
Yes.
I think hopefully things are going to start getting really interesting. Again, I would advocate for folks. There's a No Kings protest rally on Saturday, June 14th. If you have the ability to go, please attend a protest near you. Not only will it make you feel like you're taking action on something so you're not being victimized, it also throws your energy out there towards what we're looking for, which is pushing back on authoritarianism. But do not underestimate the impact it has on the rest of the world, who the United States plays an outside role in the world because of our size, our economy, and our military might.
Yeah.
Whenever we do stuff, the rest of the world's impacted. And to go out and protest gives the rest of the world hope that we are resisting. We do not agree with the path that the U.S. government is currently directed on, in that we're trying to push back to a more traditionally generous and beneficial country. Amen. We might have to go back several decades to find where that was. Yeah. But certainly we could be a lot better. And Absolutely. This gives them hope that we'll make it there. Okay. Take care, everyone. Have a good one, and we'll catch you on the next video.
Bye.